So let's take a listen to this clip right here. Alyssa Farah and Sunny Houston.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their...
You heard that? She's piping in with misogyny. Alyssa's right.
Doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Whoopi's trying to interject herself into this. I think she's kind of spent at this point, right? She spent so much time trying to convince people you cannot vote for Donald Trump under any circumstances because he's going to lock up all the gays. I mean, I'm hearing somebody who is gay and very proud of being gay is actually in line for the position as Secretary of State, Rick Grinnell, under Donald Trump. Okay, so Whoopi, you know, that's just, it's so infuriating and wrong. And so they look at the fringe media, like yours truly over here, and they think that we're spouting all this nonsense. Somehow I was part of the problem because I actually showed the full video clip of Joe Biden seemed really lost at that G8 summit. Remember that? I mean, he's just out of it. He's so lost. And if you showed this, you were somehow the problem. We were editing clips in false ways. They accused us of all kinds of things while they sit there and they spoon feed the public all kinds of misinformation day in and day out with no sense of responsibility at all. So here's another clip. More fights on the set of The View.
Let me just make my point here. So you have people talking about, well, how did he win Michigan? Because Democrats are saying, oh, she should have talked more about Gaza. No, union halls were empty. Dearborn went for Donald Trump. This is not about a micro issue like Gaza. It's people saying the cost of living is too high. The wages are too low. My life felt better under him. And I know what we'll say. Well, Goldman Sachs says the economy will do better under her. The analysts at UPenn and Wharton.
Well, we'll see.
Nobody who is struggling to make ends meet at the table, like how am I going to pay this bill, cares what Wharton professors say about the economy.
That's because they were bombarded with misinformation.
One more thing I want to say. This issue of abortion, which I hope we can...
Okay, so she's saying, Sunny Houston, that they were bombarded with misinformation. So if you think that economic times are tight, that's because of misinformation? Wow. I mean, I don't know how much they're paying you at The View, but clearly you're really out of touch. Really, really out of touch. Let's go back to our handy little graphic because we can look at these inflation numbers and you can see how out of touch these people are. Sunny Houston wants you to think that all these numbers above my left-hand shoulder are somehow misinformation. Listen, guys, people don't have as much money because inflation is eating it up. You can't go on vacation and stay in the same kind of room or fly on the same kind of flight. You can't go out to eat as much because it's going to cost that much more. You have to be careful what you're going to give your kids in their school lunch because the price has gone up to the tune of 70%. I mean, this is really, it's really just getting to be nauseating that they're so out of touch with this reality that they're going to tell you it's misinformation, disinformation. This is exactly what they were doing. For example, I will share with you what the New York Times was trying to say. The morning of, the New York Times was also presenting it as some kind of misinformation, disinformation, because they were actually suggesting if he won, then it would be because he doubled down on the transgender stuff, using transgenders as scapegoats. That's wrong. They also said, you know, because he had that ad where he said, Kamala Harris is for they, them. Donald Trump is for you. I'm sorry, that one wrote itself, right? It wrote itself. And then you've got this. Prices climbed, the New York Times writes, just 2.1% in the month of September, over a year earlier. Well, that's some choice cherry-picking words. I mean, they've been going up every single month. The 2.1%, that's compared to last year. But you know what? They went up in October, And they went up, well, in September and in August and July and June, we can keep going back. I mean, all the way to 9-point-something% that they were going up about a year after he came to office. I mean, this is why cumulatively it's so bad. And guess what? Wages have not gone up that much. I mean, under Donald Trump, in the last go around, you had wages going up the most they had been up since the days of JFK. So they just don't get it. They're trying to say, oh, but the economy's great, and hey, the economy grew 2.8%. I'm going to tell you what, if the economy is that great, why is it that the Federal Reserve came out today and announced that they are cutting rates by a 1/4 point? Why is it that in September they cut by a full freaking 50 basis points? Like they haven't done that in some 2 decades or more. I mean, these are big, big moves out of the Federal Reserve, and they're coming for a reason. They're coming because the economy is actually not doing that great. And there is a lot of inflation. And look, they're going to have to continue fighting that. I mean, that's one of the problems. But in this new day and age, it's one of the reasons why I keep telling you, go over to 76 Research. Listen, just get the free stuff if nothing else. You're looking at this market that's on fire. And Rob and I have a lot of ideas. We have a lot of insight into the sectors and the companies, the specific opportunities that are going to do really, really well for you in this environment. So I just encourage you, I'm going to put this up on the screen. You can go and get the research, the 76 report at least, with code word dollar, DOLLAR. Just use code dollar and you will get that for $1 a month for the first couple of months. You get all the names, the model portfolios. Those are very special. We have an income builder portfolio. I think we saw it in the graphic there. We have the income builder, we have the American resilience, we have inflation protection portfolio. You can get them all, as well as any new ones that are coming on board. You can get them all with the Founders Club. But go to 76 Research and do me this favor. If nothing else, at least get yourself the free stuff, because it's important right about now. I think we are on the cusp of a lot of good things that are about to happen, economically speaking. I think you're going to have some adults in charge, some people who actually understand the economy and understand business for a change. Imagine that.